I was thinking about immorality and why the more advanced our society becomes, the more immoral it becomes. It seems like we busy normalize immoral behavior, normalize our vices that actually make us incredibly miserable and depressed. Morality itself is not a side effect, it's the point of collaboration inside of society, because can you have a family inside of a moral society? How are we supposed to invest our time with each other if we are deeply immoral? Because if a person is deeply immoral, you cannot trust this person. And if there's no trust, there's no family. And if there's no family, there's no society. And if there's no society, there's no country. And unfortunately, the internet amplified this immoral behavior because it made it very simple. Now everyone can record their scenes on iPhones and then upload those scenes online. And I see incredibly immoral behavior from people. Especially I see women who record themselves and their kids in a moment of outburst. They complaining about their husbands online. Before you're supposed to just solve your problem with your family privately without displaying your dirty laundry. But now, unfortunately, everything changed, and what must be private, like our bathrooms and our bedrooms, now completely displayed to everybody outside, and it's became normal. You can see what people do in their bedrooms, and you're also able to see what people do in their bathrooms. It seems like it's getting more and more normal and even celebrated in some senses. And that's my problem with this immoral idea, because we became incredibly technologically advanced, and we have tools now. We have powerful tools that we can use for good, but unfortunately, a lot of people use those tools for bad. Especially, we equipped incredibly immoral men to use those tools to advance in their immoral behavior and to hurt other people, especially women, who are now incredibly vulnerable as the result of those tools that in hands of a moral man. Because if you make a mistake, before, for example, if you made a mistake, it's just between you and people who saw you making that mistakes, and therefore there is redemption. You can eventually forget about that mistake, and other people would forget about that mistake too. But now your mistake can be recorded on the iPhone, and then introduced to the entire world for its judgment. And these mistakes keep following you endlessly. And there's no way to hide from that mistakes, because everybody around you can see these mistakes, can share these mistakes, and keep talking about these mistakes. And especially deeply immoral people can use those mistakes to harass you, to destroy your life, to destroy your potential, to destroy your ability just to exist. And it happens all the time. And iPhone became much more dangerous than a gun because immoral people start misusing it. And we need now pay attention to morality. We need now to pay attention and to be careful with what we're doing and what we propagate, because the celebration of vices is astounding. I see criminals record their own crimes on their iPhones and post them online, and I see other people celebrate those crimes. They share those crimes, they put nice comments, and some of the criminals even raise money as the result of those crimes. It seems like we separate in the units, and each unit has their own morality. And the more we separate and the more units we have, the less morality those units have, because we almost become absolutely immoral. And with artificial intelligence, everything becomes even much worse, because Artificial intelligence is like a nuclear bomb. It's dangerous, and artificial intelligence will never become moral. It will reflect people's morality. It will reflect people's idea of morality. And if we don't understand our own idea of morality, there's no way for us to explain artificial intelligence what exactly we want from it. And the funny thing about it that immoral behavior makes us to mistrust each other. And people became lonely, and they stop dating. They stop creating families, and therefore the birth rate went down, and the West is collapsing. And that's how you can solve this, because how you can trust a woman, because you have no idea what kind videos she has online. Because you marry this woman, you have kids with her, and then one day you will see a bunch of porn tape online. How you can survive this? All this idea about liberation, about sexual revolution, doesn't ally with our biology, with our idea of living with each other, because we can imagine a lot of things, but we cannot deny reality. Because reality is reality, and immoral behavior create huge mistrust between us, and with this mistrust, we stop falling in love, and we stop believing in each other. We stop treating women like princesses, and they stop treating men like knights. And therefore, there's no hero story among us any longer, and we don't try to look for dragons to defeat those dragons, because we don't need gold any longer, since we have all comfort we need, and also we don't need no princess to save, because we have a bunch of online pornography. Yesterday I saw a video from China where they invented this sex humanoid. It was freaking insane because it looks so real, and I wrote that this is the beginning of the end of human intimacy. If you can order one day a humanoid that looks indistinguishable from a woman, why would you do this? What exactly would stop you from having a relationship with the humanoids? A lot of people say, no, I'm not going to do this. But if you now keep watching porn, the humanoid is just extension of your pornography, but much more real, and this has the same sophistication. Like, before telling that I would never have humanoid, look around you, look at your life. Do you have successful relationship with women? Do you have good marriage that you try to preserve? Because if you don't have those factors, you probably will have humanoid in your life. We have to look at the world with reality in our eyes, because we have to see a real world, not the world we imagine. And now it's incredibly important because technology is getting so sophisticated while our morality goes down. We seems like don't notice this parallel. We have so many opportunities to live good life, and nevertheless, our life is getting worse. In a mental sense, maybe physically we are healthy, we have enough food on the table, we have a comfortable life, but mentally we're more depressed right now as the result, because something is missing, something incredibly important missing between man and a woman. And there's nobody's fault, it's just the way how we build society, how we decided to rearrange our biology and redefine everything about us. Because the story goes, a man and a woman, they have their own roles, and those roles help them to write their story together. We can write stories separately. I saw many couples when a man and a woman, they work and they have different jobs, and nobody want to sacrifice nothing, and they drift apart because she want to pursue her own career, her own life, and he want to pursue his own career, his own life, and nobody cares about kids. And even worse, people don't want to get married any longer because they don't want to invest into marriage. They just want to chill and relax. And if we have this mentality, what would stop us from having humanoids as our partners? Because if you think about it, it's a pretty logical conclusion to have humanoids, because they just sleep in their closet. And when you need one, you just boot it up and she or he will satisfy all your perversive desires and back in the closet. But it wouldn't stop loneliness within us, and also it would change something within us. Already artificial intelligence changed a lot about our psyche, about understanding of our reality. How bad or how good it is, I don't know, but it's incredibly powerful models. And a lot of people communicate with them as they are friends, but they're not. They can help you to understand the world, they can help you in business, but they will never replace other humans. And if they will, then you become less human, because you have to reflect other humans' behavior upon yourself to be able to understand yourself.